Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Thanks all Scott Selections here for Friday, March 10th. For again today's play of the day, quick recap what happened yesterday. We had a nice winner in tennis with Ben Shelton to win in straight sets at minus 125 on Bet Online. First set was a bit difficult, but Shelton broke through and won the first set 6-4. And then Fognini had nothing left in the second set, and he might have re-injured his leg as Shelton won the second set 6-1. So nice winner for us, for another winner here on Friday. And for today's play today, going back to tennis, look at a match between Medvedev and Nakashima, taking place at around 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And for this match, we're going to take the total in this one. We're going to take the under 20.5 games at minus 122 on Bet Online. Time recording of 2 a.m. Eastern Time. Covering why we're going to take Medvedev and Nakashima under in this spot. First reason, look at the actual price for the money line for Medvedev and the straight set price. Medvedev is expected to mop the floor with him, and rightfully so. Medvedev is minus 1,200 on the money line and minus 230 to win in straight sets. They're expecting him to win comfortably, and it makes a lot of sense because Medvedev has looked like arguably the best player in the world so far in 2023. He ended up beating Djokovic in Dubai, but he's easily been a top 2 player in the world up to this point. Well, Nakashima has been a little bit inconsistent so far into the season. But Medvedev, to go through his dominance lately, he's won 14 straight matches, and 12 of the 14 were in straight sets. And if you want more domination, Medvedev has won each of his last 15 sets, and 13 of those 15 sets had 10 games or less. So Medvedev has been destroying people just match in, match out, set by set. And I think that Nakashima is going to be, once again, another victim in Medvedev's collection. But you're looking at the style of play for both players, kind of similar. They both love to rally. They're both not afraid of having really, really long rallies of 30-plus shots. The difference is Medvedev is probably the best in the world at it, or second best behind Djokovic. But Nakashima has been pretty mediocre so far this season. He's split his last 4 matches against weaker competition. He faced off against Nakashima in the Australian Open, and he ended up losing that one in 5 sets. Then he ended up facing off against Altmaier, won that one in 3. Altmaier is not exactly a great player by any means. Then had a rematch against McDonald in Acapulco, lost 6-2, 6-0, and then beat Isner 7-6, 6-3 in the first round of Indian Wells. But Isner at this stage in his career is really a shell of his former self. That win is not as impressive as it sounds because Isner cannot move at this stage in his career. And if you watch the match, Nakashima just kept the ball in play and watched Isner self-destruct as he made Isner run around. So I don't exactly think that Nakashima looked great in that match. He looked good enough to beat up on a past prime Isner, but now he's facing off against a top 2 player in the world, in my opinion, especially on hard court. I think Nakashima is going to be in for a world of hurt in this matchup. And if you want to also just talk about the advantages Medvedev has, in addition to being the better mover and the more consistent guy on the forehand and backhand, he's also the better server. And I do think that with Medvedev being the better returner, you're going to see him really open up a decent lead in both sets. Now, is it possible Nakashima with the home crowd could potentially get off to a decent start? Maybe. But with Medvedev beating up on much better competition than Nakashima, and with Nakashima struggling recently against weaker competition, I think Medvedev is really going to destroy him in this match. And I think that a scoreline of 6-4, 6-2 sounds quite reasonable here, maybe even worse. But the point is, Nakashima, is he a good server? Kinda. He's not amazing by any means, but Medvedev is such a great returner, and Nakashima isn't exactly known for his net skills, so I don't exactly expect many serve and volley moves or points by Nakashima. So Medvedev should stand far back off the court like we're used to seeing him, and I do think he'll be able to keep a lot of returns in play, and he'll be able to outlast Nakashima in a bunch of points. But when both players play similar styles, and one player is significantly better at it, and he's won 14 straight matches, I think Nakashima is going to be up against it, and I think you'll see Medvedev win this match comfortably. But once again, it's minus 230 for him to win in straight sets, and he's minus 1,200 on the money line. So I'll basically pencil Medvedev in for a different type of domination with a much better price, and I'm going to go with the under 20.5 games at minus 122. In theory, it could also win if Nakashima destroys Medvedev, but that's not going to happen. But that is definitely a miracle draw, so to speak. But I'll definitely take the value option of backing a top 2 player in the world to win comfortably. So the play that I once again here for Friday, March 10th is going to be on Medvedev and Nakashima under 20.5 games at minus 122 on Bet Online. Bye, everyone.